Now the force came forth red all over like a hairy garment, and they named him Esau. Afterwards, his brother came forth with his hand holding on to Esau's heel, so his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 60 years old when she gave birth to them. When the boys grew up, Esau became a skillful hunter, a man of the field, but Jacob was a peaceful man living in tents. Jacob was always in the house, living in the tents. And then we have the one that is on the field. And if you want to make a comparison in the days of the slavery, you see the house nigger. And I use, excuse my language, and I use the word because it was what it was called, but the house slaves versus the field slave. So you can see in this passage here, afterwards his brother came forth with his hand holding on to Esau's heel. So when the boys grew up, Esau became a skillful hunter, a man of the field, but Jacob was a peaceful man living in tents. Now Isaac loved Esau because he had a taste for game. So Isaac, the father, loves the first son because Isaac loves meat and game. But Rebekah loved Jacob. When Jacob had cooked stew, Esau came in from the field and he was famished. And Esau said to Jacob, "Please let me have a swallow of the red stuff there, for I am famished." Therefore his name was called Edom. Did you see how the name changed to Edom? So you know which of the countries in the world today are the Edomites. Then you can begin to see the alignment and the beginning of the problem that we are experiencing right now, which from time to time rises up tension between brothers and sisters. And you find that people throw themselves into a sibling quarrel and sibling disagreement, which began from the beginning of time. That's the point that I'm trying to make to you today. But Jacob said first, "Sell me your birthright." Esau said, "Behold, I am about to die." Listen to what he said out of his mouth. Esau said, "Behold, I am about to die. So of what use then is the birthright to me?" He came out from the field and was famished, tired, and he may say he was about to die. The confession of the mouth when we talk about the self curse. If you listen to my message on curses, how to curse people and how people curse themselves, and that curse hold them down and suffer them for the rest of their life. You see, in this word from his mouth, Jacob opened his mouth, the first son of Isaac. Remember, at this time, there was no choice between the two yet. But he now surrendered his birthright to his second brother. The Jacob gave him some bread and lentil stew, and he ate and drank and rose and went on his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. Thus Esau despised his birthright. There are people in the world that despise their birthright, what God had given them, especially the first sons. You might have heard me talk about and give a message regarding the first sons. The significance of the firstborn, the spiritual significance of the first sons. The first son of Isaac despised his birthright. He gave it to his younger brother. You find a lot of younger brothers tussling their older brother for their rights. It's causing a lot of conflict now, and even in Africa, in Nigeria, when I saw that too. A lot of younger brothers are fighting their elder brothers for their birthright. Just as you see that they started fighting from the womb of their mother when Jacob was holding the heels of Esau. The war and the problem did not start today. And I take you again. I take you in the book of Genesis in chapter. This was Genesis chapter 25. I take you into Genesis chapter 26. In Genesis chapter 26, from verse 34 26 from verse 34, you will hear, then Esau was 40 years old. He married Judith, the daughter of Beri the Hittite, and Basemath, the daughter of Elon the Hittite, and they brought grief to Isaac and Rebekah. Remember, this fight did not start and this problem did not start today. From verse 34 of the book of Genesis in chapter 6. Esau was 40 years old. He married Judith, the daughter of Beri the Hittite, and Basemath, the daughter of Elon the Hittite, and they brought grief to Isaac and Rebekah. Esau was a bad boy, a bad man that was giving his parents grief. They gave them grief. At this time, was there a commandment? Remember, the commandment of the law was not yet given unto them. They were not under any obligation or under any law. But he was dishonoring Isaac, from whom God planned to bless Abraham and keep the promise he made to Abraham in the book of Genesis in chapter 18. All right. When you see that the behaviors that people are doing and children are doing to their parents has consequences. When we have children in our church, in our ministries, and we tell them, listen to your parents and do as you were told, so that they will not get angry with you, so that God will not curse you or cause a problem for you. Be obedient to your parents and be nice to them and treat them properly as the Lord. This was even before the commandment was given. So I want you to pay attention. I want to take you to chapter 27. In chapter 27, and if you are a father, imagine that your son that don't listen to you, and that your favored son, your first son, that you like to make sure he gives you things to eat.